Hey guys, welcome back to the channel.
Yep, welcome back.
Toto, we're not in Kansas anymore.
No,
We're in a different state though.
we are
We're on the road again.
on the road again. I'm so glad to be on the road again.
We are in Missouri.
We are Missouri.
Missouri.
Oh,
But we are really excited for this trip.
yep.
We are really excited for this trip. We are getting ready to meet some people that we have watched many videos of, binged watched many videos of,
And we watched them for years, several,
Yes.
4 or 5 years, I suppose.
and they are incredible. I'm really excited for this weekend. We are going to Off Grid with Doug and Stacy. If you don't watch their channel, what's wrong with you? But we are in Missouri to go to their spring conference this weekend, and we get some time for a vacation.
Yeah, vacation time for us.
This is awesome. So anyways, we kind of drove most of the night.
Through the night, we stopped and
We stopped and rested some,
for a little bit.
but anyways, we're about maybe 20 minutes or so from our hotel now, and we're going to go and kind of freshen up a little bit, and who knows what we're going to do then. But tomorrow morning starts the conference, and we're looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to hearing from Doug and Stacy. Really looking forward because Doc Jones is going to be there.
In case you don't know who Doc Jones is, he's got the homegrown
herbalist.
school of herbal medicine or whatever.
Yep, which I'm enrolled in that.
Yep, Deb's a member of that school.
So I'm really anxious to hear him. Dr. Leo's going to be there for beekeeping.
Yeah.
And talking about his horizontal hives and all that good stuff. So our son Zach has expressed interest in beekeeping, so that's kind of cool. Might take some info back to him on that one.
Yeah.
But this trip, Zach and Kayla and the kids didn't get to come, but maybe one of these years we'll be able to all go to.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool.
I do too. Do a family vacation doing something like this. Anyways, but just thought we would bring you guys along, and hopefully you enjoy the trip as much as we do. Let's go. All right, guys. We are downtown Hannibal, and we are now walking around downtown. One of the first stops that we're making is this place right here. It's called Ayers Pottery, and this is a place that Doug and Stacy get their mugs from, and I have been wanting one of these mugs since I saw her drinking from one for their chocolate tea. So I want to go see what I can find. All right, guys, this is over by Mark Twain, where he grew up at, and there's the museum. You can go and see his boyhood home and stuff, and I'll put the picture of his boyhood home too. But this little town is so quaint and awesome. We just had dinner over here. I don't remember even what it's called, but it was so good. It was like the best brisket that we've ever had, wasn't it?
It was really good, yeah.
Oh my goodness. And so, well, yeah, we're going back. Sorry if my camera was down, but yeah, we're going to try to go back at least, one other time before we leave?
If we can. We can make it back in time after the thing tomorrow.
After the conference tomorrow. But guys, look at this little downtown. I mean, it's so adorable. And that building right there was the first storefront that was built here in Hannibal. Had a sign on it that was really cool, but oh my goodness, it's just adorable here. And this stone wall, I mean, guys, it goes like on back, on back, on back. So beautiful here. All right, moving on.
And this right here is Mark Twain's picket fence that he had to whitewash.
I love it. Well, look, I mean, it goes all over there.
Oh, they got white picket fences all around over here.
They do. And then over here, it was some more picket fence he had to whitewash. It's so funny. Right there is J.M. Clemens, Justice of the Peace. That was actually Mark Twain's father's law office. Pretty cool. And then over here, that was actually Becky Thatcher's house. So if you've read Mark Twain's Huckleberry Finn, you know who Becky Thatcher is. And then over here is Grant's Drugstore. Pretty cool. Oh my gosh, this is so cool. But this is where you go in and start the entrance for, oh, look at this house. Look at all those flowers, Sweet Williams and everything. Oh, there's the boards. There's the fence.
Appreciate your patience.
Hey guys, we are here and we are waiting for to go through to get the tickets, and well, we got our tickets, we just need to get in the gate and everything like that. We're really excited, guys. There's the line in back of us. There's the line in front of us, and we've got to get to the tent.
And we parked a mile away.
It feels like it. So we're pretty excited to get the day started. And so come along with us. We've got some really awesome people that we're going to hear speaking and sharing their knowledge and everything. And as you can see, Doug just went by. So it's going to be a great day.
Characteristics always, and they have to have both. And most people don't. Okay, so if it has these two, unless it's stinging nettle, it's probably a mint. So the characteristics are they have square stems, like distinctly square stems. And the leaves come off in pairs. They'll come off two going north and south, two east and west, two north and south, two east and west. If it has both of those things, it's a mint, all right, the family Lamiaceae. And it's a huge family, and they're all medicinal. Like, I mean, I don't know if we even get started on that list. We've only got a minute. Anyway, so catnip is really good. Now, the mint family has a mission statement. They had it embroidered and they hung it on their wall. It was really nice. Their family mission statement, it said, "We're the mint family. We want to do something nice for your nervous system, and we like to kill someone." So they hung it up. All their neighbors moved away. It was sad, but that's what they do. Okay, they're almost without exception calming and sedating to the nervous system. Okay, and they're almost without exception really good at killing something. And then they start to branch out. You know, some of them are good for viruses, some are good for fungal stuff, some are good for bacterial stuff, some of them are good for everything. You know, I mean, oregano and lavender, some of those guys, give them for anything, it'll kill it. Catnip, and they're almost always calming, you know. So they make good bedtime teas. Catnip's a really nice bedtime tea. Lemon balm's a nice bedtime tea. Skullcap is a nice bedtime tea as long as you don't have anywhere to go in the morning, because it's really sedating. Skullcap is also phenomenal for pain. Lemon balm is also good for herpes viruses. You know, like cold sores, chicken pox, shingles, those are all herpes viruses. And the naughty herpes, right?
Internally and externally.
Both, yeah. I mean, if you take lemon balm, not catnip, but if you take lemon balm and grind up the leaves and put it on your lip and like put some tape on it, it'll kill the cold sore. It's also really good birth control. Hi honey, I'm home.
Is that something you should do if you have hypothyroid though with lemon balm?
Lemon balm suppresses thyroid hormone. So if you're already hypothyroid, don't take it internally, but you can put it on your cold sore, right? The tincture's more convenient, by the way, than the tape on the leaves. Or you can make a salve or a lotion or whatever. Just use the tincture. It's fast and it's easy and it soaks in faster. And it burns. But it'll knock that out. It'll knock that cold sore out. Okay, back to catnip, all right? We were not talking about catnip a minute ago. Catnip is calming, nice bedtime tea. Also, the mints in general, the nervous system things, they do have a strong affinity for the nerves in the gut. So they're all really good for belly aches and diarrhea and colic and stuff. Catnip is a rock star for colic in little fat people, right? And you can give it to little tiny infant babies and it won't hurt them. Don't give most herbs to little babies because you got to be really careful with dosing and stuff. and some of them are very toxic. Some herbs you shouldn't even take if you're nursing, because they're perfectly safe for mom, but they'll give your kid brain damage. You know, anything with berberine in it, Oregon grape, barberry, golden seal, any of those. So don't take herbs if you're nursing or pregnant or using drugs, unless you talk to somebody that knows what they're doing. All right. But catnip is an exception. Catnip you can take anytime you want. And in fact, a lot of nursing mothers have told me that if they drink catnip tea through the day, that it goes through the milk enough that the baby doesn't even have to take it. That fixes the colic. So it fixes the colic, it makes him sleepy and want to have a nap, and what else could be nicer for a little baby than that?
You just make a tea out of it.
Yeah, you make a tea. Yeah, just make a little tea, give it to him, a little eyedropper, put it in his bottle or something. Yeah. Anyway, catnip's a fantastic plant. And they're pretty. It is almost like a narcotic for cats. And so if you plant it and you have cats, figure out a way to keep them out of it, or they'll roll around in it. And, you know, you won't have any catnip anymore. Also, and write this down, but if you have a cat, don't let him operate heavy machinery. Important to say. A lot of herb safety stuff today. So.
Get started here, kind of. Who else has got muddy feet? I'm standing in mud. I'm like, I hope this electricity is okay. Yeah, I'll know about it first. So we got people from California, New York, where else? Tennessee, Texas,
Alabama.
Kentucky, Missouri. Well, I'm glad you made it. Tennessee,
Bama.
Alabama, Arizona. What were you? Iowa, Pennsylvania. You guys don't know how to count votes over there. Okay. Batesville, Arkansas. Okay, Arkansas is in the house. I'm not the only one. Good deal. Colorado, Oklahoma City. Well, guys, I appreciate you coming out. We're going to have a good time today. Today, we're going to talk about how homesteading is hard.
Yes, sir.
It's hard.
Yes, sir.
And, you know, I've been doing this now for 13, 14 years. And, man, the people who come in here, they have seen some sort of idyllic fantasy of homesteading, these amazing videos with nice footage and soft music, and they think this is going to be so easy, and then they go out to their chickens one morning and the raccoon has had his way.
Yep.
And there ain't no more chickens. They're all gone. There's just bits and pieces. So,
or the possum's eating your eggs.
yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. So you're constantly in a fight with nature, and you know, to be honest, these are things that our grandparents and great-grandparents, these things they dealt with on a regular basis. But us coming out of the cubicles in the big cities, we don't understand this. So let me give you a little bit of a background of where I'm from. I was born and raised in St. Louis, Missouri. I got up to some age. Yeah, all right. Well, I got out of St. Louis because I'm like, this place is going downhill. And then I joined the Army, came back from the Army, went to college. I came back from Florida because I couldn't live there. There's no seasons, and you're not the top of the food chain in that state. And so, I mean, I'm not kidding. There was like a week that went by where some jogger wasn't getting pulled off the trail by an alligator. Anyway, I'm like, you know, the crime here is really bad after I got back to the city. I said, I don't want to stay here. And then 2008 happened. That was the financial crisis, and it just got, I mean, what was the solution to that to fix it? Was print money.
That's right.
Money printer go burr. I'm not a smart man, okay? I was never an A student, but I can do simple math. When you're $35 trillion in debt and $2 trillion yearly budget deficit, that's not going to get paid back.
That's right.
Right.
So we're like, okay, we're out of here. We got to get out of here. Any way off this mess, we got to get out. And so we decided to move down to the Ozarks. And my late wife's parents, she passed away in 2019 from cancer. But her parents came with us, and we're still on a homestead. And it's a hard life, but it's a very rewarding life. It's something that I still have to pinch myself to think I get to do this. I get to live here. I know what it's like to sit, you know, an hour in traffic each way to work. That's not fun.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
So it's like if I get to drive down a dirt road and I see more deer than I see people on some days, you know? So it's like, I love it. But there's a lot of people, I think, if you don't prepare yourself for the right attitude, you're going to have hard times. You're going to have problems. Number one, I'm going to tell you is that the spouses, okay, you need to be on the same page. Okay, you can't, if one does not want this, it's going to be tough.
Won't work.
Okay, it won't work. You're going to have this battle constantly because it's going to be tough. When one spouse has had enough and just feels like going crazy, the other spouse needs to be able to reach in and lift that spouse up, and then vice versa, because you're both going to go through those times.
Amen.
And it's because, again, it's not like this is something that humanity has dealt with, living the way we're trying to live, being more self-sustainable, being self-sufficient. They've always lived this way, but we are not used to that game. It's completely foreign to us. We're used, guys, we're weak. We are weak. And it's because our fathers and our grandfathers worked really hard. Right? How's that phrase go? Hard times create what? Right, and it goes in a cycle. So when those people, those strong men create good times, what happens next?
Weak
Weak. That's where we are right now. And so it's okay. We're gonna get through this. The main thing you're gonna need is a positive attitude.
Sure.
All right, so you're here for flowers, right? I love flowers. I plant them with lots of stuff. And the crazy thing is you can eat so many flowers. People don't really realize it. I'm going to tell you just from the beginning. Is it okay? Okay. I'm going to tell you from the beginning that there's just a few flowers that really you can't eat. Daffodils are not good. So we don't want to eat daffodils even though they look pretty. Hydrangeas are another one. Azaleas are another one. Lilies of the valley are another one. So we have a few that you don't want to eat. A lot of them may not taste very well. So they're edible, but they won't taste well. We love our pollinators, and the pollinators love them. So what I've started to do in my garden, I put flowers everywhere. They're everywhere because they pull in the beneficial pollinators. They're going to help. Either a flower will attract certain pests that will deter, from the plants, from them eating them, or they'll emit some kind of smell that'll let them go away. So flowers have lots of wonderful positive things to them. And what I like in the beginning of the season, so we're going through spring right now. So you start off and you have your petunias, right? Or not petunias, pansies. I'm getting tired. So you have your pansies. The pansy flowers are an incredible way that you can go ahead and make a tea out of the flowers, which makes a beautiful, you can mix them with honey. If you have some peppermint, you can put the peppermint in a jar and make some pansy peppermint tea. Okay? The flowers are wonderful to break apart and just put them all over a salad, or if you want to put them on a sandwich, or if you want to put them on taco salad or something like that, you can put them on top. Because the thing is when you look at these colors, we have these beautiful reds and pinks, yellows, all the colors. The colors mean nutrition. They all have, every of these flowers have high amounts of antioxidants. And antioxidants basically help prevent oxidative damage in our body. And I thought of this the other day. I'm like, oh, that's a great analogy. When you eat these foods, like in your garden, like your beets, the red colors, and you're eating your tomatoes, and you're having the squash, and you're eating the flowers with the bright colors like that, they're giving you the antioxidants to help prevent this free radicals in your body. So it's sort of like we're rusting from the inside out, so it's going to help protect you from rusting from the inside out, basically. So when we add these colorful foods into our diet, it's an incredible way to add variety. And it's cool and it looks pretty, and a lot of them are really, really good. And I'm going to tell you, I brought two of my favorites, and we'll talk about them in a minute. But I really enjoy it. And then the great thing about these flowers is they're wonderful companion plants. So I'm going to start with the one that most everybody knows a little bit about, which are marigolds. These are like the little French marigolds. I like these better than the big yellow ones as much. These, I think they produce a whole lot more and they get really big. The great thing about these marigolds, you plant them early in the season, and as it goes toward apple season and then the mums are coming out and all that, and you're getting the mums, these will grow into great big bushes. And they are very hardy, and they'll stay until you get your, a couple of good frosts, and then they'll die. And so they look pretty in the fall. So if you want something in your landscape that looks good, or your garden's dying off, these marigolds will look amazing. So I always try to put them everywhere. So let's say in my garden I have some tomatoes, or I have some peppers, or I have some cucumbers. Well, cucumbers get too crazy, but you just put them by all your stuff. And the marigold is a great companion plant to help deter the pests. And it looks amazing, and this flower can be used for a spice. I dry the marigold petals. So basically what you'll do, you get the flowers like this, and I just get the scissors and I cut the top. So I have all the petals, and then I lay them on some parchment paper, and then I'm gonna let them, you can dehydrate them. The best way to do it, because you don't want them to sit around and get dust and all that. So the two ways I would dehydrate my herbs and my flowers are either in the sun oven, the All-American sun oven, there, the dehydrating tray, if you have a dehydrator, or in the oven on low, like 100, no higher than 125, 150. And then you can dehydrate them till they get crunchy, and then you can break them apart. And then they're great to add to seasoning mixes. So let's say you had some thyme and some oregano and some basil, and then you could put some marigold in there too. If you want to put some cayenne pepper or red pepper flakes to make it spicy, you can do that also. This is really good. You can mix it with fenugreek, garlic, and it makes a great just kind of spice to add to your meats or to your chicken or to different things like that. So you can use it as a seasoning. The other thing that I do is you can dry the petals the same way, use them for your seasoning, or put them in a tea. So use them for later, so when the season's done, you can make some marigold petal tea, adding some honey. It's incredible. I like to mix and match teas. So let's say I'll have some marigold tea, and maybe I'll mix it with some peppermint or some spearmint tea. And that goes really well together with some honey. And then that way you're getting the antioxidant benefits from that.
Jones from the Homegrown Herbalist School, and I'm just as a safety precaution, I'm gonna pass this clipboard around. If you put your email on here, I'll send you all the lectures I'm doing. That way, if I sink all the way down, it'll be all, it'll be all right. You'll still get the lecture, yeah. And it'll probably be worth more when I'm dead, Put it on eBay or something. So I'm gonna pass these around. If you've already got it, if you already signed it somewhere else, you're on there. Unless you got bad penmanship, and then do it again, all right? And then the other thing I'm gonna pass around, we've got some flyers on the school. We do have a full program. How many of you are in the school already? Right, there you go. So the 4 of you that aren't. I brought a lot of these. Anyway, we'll go ahead and take some of these. I'll send around some business cards. We do have a YouTube channel and other fun things, so that's all on there. And honestly, with these flyers and the cards, take as many as you want. I don't know if you've ever bought anything on Vistaprint. Anybody ever done that? And you're kind of getting to the end, and it says, how about another 10,000 cards for $9.99? Oh, that's a good deal. And then you're checking out again. How about another 20,000 cards for $9.99? Oh, that's a really good deal. Anyway, my wife found me slumped over the keyboard at 3 in the morning hitting the button. So we got a whole garage full of these. So if you take some, if you just take them to the supermarket and put them under people's windshield wipers, they like that. All right. So, okay, we're going to talk about herbscaping. All right, and how to make your yard a pharmacy. All right. And I'm Patrick Jones. You probably figured that out by now. So I'm a veterinarian, been a veterinarian for 30-some years. I don't know how many, 30-something. I'm also a traditional I also started the Institute of People Who Can't Talk in Front of Other People. I'm also a traditional naturopath, all right? So I had two practices. I had, if you're a dog, you went to that building. If you're sick as a dog, you go to the other building. If I can't tell the difference, we use the same herbs anyway. But anyway, and I'm the founder of the Homegrown Herbalist School of Botanical Medicine, which is a very serious and sober organization. Just before we start, I want to mention that a lot of herbs are not friendly to pregnant ladies. A lot of them aren't safe to take if you're nursing. And if you're on pharmaceuticals, don't mix them up unless you talk to somebody who knows what they're doing. Otherwise, they have very wide margins of safety and not too much to worry about. But if you got a bun in the oven, or you're nursing a little fat person, or if you're taking meds, be careful. Herbscaping, I think I coined the term, but I'm not sure if I did or not, but I would appreciate if I got a nickel every time someone said it. That would be fair. Basically, it's the practice of landscaping with medicinal plants, right? People like to have pretty things, and honestly, there's a lot of really pretty stuff that'll save your life, right? So this is my house in Buell, Idaho. Not anymore, it belongs to a nice lady who bought it, but it was a couple years ago, my house. Every plant you see in that picture is medicinal, okay?
Nice.
Except this grass right here, this spotty grass, my wife thought was cute. And being a highly educated man, I know that if your wife thinks something's cute, you buy it for her. But everything else is the trees, the shrubs, the flowers, everything you see there is a medicinal plant. We had 150 species or so growing on that place, all right? And it was a 2-acre plot, but one of those acres was a vet clinic and a parking lot and a house. And the other acre in the back was mostly, I never got around to because I was too busy. So everything we were doing was on like maybe a 1/4 acre, and we had 150 species, all right? When my kids got sick, they ran out and did something about it in the yard, right? All right, so here's just some more pictures, and you know, we'll go through some of these plants, but just an example, okay? Lavender, Russian sage, bee balm, Gaillardia for your kidneys, clematis for your headaches, rose of Sharon, yarrow, right? Wild cherry bark, all these plants are medicinal, okay? Agrimony, cranesbill, milkweed. That one just came up every year, and I liked him, so I never moved him because he's cute too. The milkweed, yeah. Anyway, they're just little pictures of things. All the gates and stuff had a trellis over them. This is Japanese honeysuckle, fantastic for respiratory stuff. You know, we got 3 colors of yarrow here. All of them are medicinal. Cramp bark. These are wild cherry bark trees too. Choke cherry. Anyway, just stuff, right? Hawthorn tree, linden tree, bergamot, passion flower, echinacea, elecampane, mullein. That's a weed too, but he's cute, so I let him come. Another bergamot. Anyway, the point is, and some of the stuff we put in pots because it's naughty, right? We'll talk about that in a minute. These are various mints. These aren't medicinal petunias. Again, my wife likes pretty things occasionally, and we have this talk, but she buys them anyway. Anyway, these are, I don't know, anybody seen these in this part of the country? These are irrigation conduits. Every farm in Idaho has a pile of these on the corner. And you go up to the nice man and say, can I have those? He says, I'll give you $10, take them away. So you bury them, you fill them half with gravel and half with dirt, and you're off to the races. So this is the actual garden, okay? This is my little herb drying shed. But, you know, all these fruit trees have herbs growing under them too. We'll talk about that. Okay, so let's just talk about some principles. First of all, think outside the garden box. You know, we think about growing herbs, and we're gonna make it a garden and grow some herbs. You don't have to do that. You know, save the garden for the fussy guys, the potatoes and the tomatoes and the things that need your attention and irrigation and all those things. Well, not here, they don't need irrigation. Drainage ditches and all those things. Most of your botanical medicines don't need that. You know, this big patch of her black-eyed Susan's happy as a clam, and nobody's nice to her every day. You know, historically, that's what settlers and pioneers did. They had the vegetable garden, and all the medicinals were being used to beautify their yard. The flowers and the plants and the trees. If you go to old homesteads, they've got black-eyed Susans and chamomile and this and that growing all over the place because that's what they were doing. The other principle is let nature be nature. Okay, things are going to happen. There's going to be a little chaos. Embrace the chaos. You know, I planted passion flower on my place, and it shoots out runners, 30 feet. And it'll pop up somewhere and say, look, I'm beautiful. And I say, okay. And I just grab a little piece of cattle panel. You guys know what cattle panels are?
Yep.
I just asked because it's a different country. Did you know that this is true now? Don't laugh. Barack Obama was having a cabinet meeting, and they decided to close down some of the national park areas. And the Secretary of Agriculture says, okay, well, we'll need to take out the cattle panels, meaning the grates the cows can't walk across. Cattle guards. We're going to have to take out all the cattle guards. And several of the cabinet members immediately started talking about severance programs and retraining, relocation for these poor cattle guards. So those are the guys that are making laws for you. Wisely spending your tax dollars
Wow.
on re-education for middle grades. So this plant back here is Russian comfrey, all right? Comfrey's a phenomenal plant.
Yes.
It's a phenomenal plant. It accelerates healing so fast. Go to homegrownherbalist.net, my website. Go to the blog and look at some of the wound cases we've done over the years. Insane healing with comfrey. Okay, but comfrey is a megalomaniac. I mean, that plant, you'll never dig it up. And don't rototill it. Don't ask me why. It's personal. Also, when harvesting comfrey, and write this down, it's important, don't harvest comfrey with a backhoe because it can take weeks to recover, all right? But Russian comfrey is a sterile hybrid, okay? So they took Symphytum officinale and Symphytum uplandicum and had a shotgun wedding, and now we got this hybrid like a mule. You get a donkey and a horse, you get a mule, and this guy's seeds aren't fertile, okay? So that's manageable. He'll spread a little bit over time from root division, unless you rototill, and that'll be faster. But he'll never drop seed and send it all over, okay? So that works. You can also just deadhead the flowers. These guys all are big cedars. This is valerian, elecampane, and marshmallow. Marshmallow is a glorious, beautiful plant. It's about this tall and has these beautiful flowers. And when they start looking worn out and ugly, pick them off. And it won't go to seed and destroy your life, right? But it's a fantastic plant. Elecampane has a big dandelion head when it's done. Pull them off before they do that. Same with valerian. Although, neither of these plants, even though they make a bazillion seeds, they're not super aggressive spreaders. They don't germinate very well. For anybody in the mint family, solitary confinement is a good idea. So this is an old water trough that had a hole in it, and so the guy was throwing it out. So the guy that worked for him, he said, what are you doing with that? And he said, I'm throwing it out. It's a water trough with a big hole in it, And he said, no, I'll take it. And he took it, buried it, filled it with dirt, and planted his mints in there. Mints spread mostly by root runners. And if you don't let this flower and seed, which if you're using it for medicine, you won't because you're chopping it down 3 times a year, then you win, right? For the really enthusiastic guys, concrete is a good solution. This is wild comfrey, all right? This was dug up as deep as I could go about 3 weeks before I took this picture. And it didn't, no hard feelings at all, And so this is about a 6 foot wide, 4 foot wide concrete sidewalk. And it keeps comfrey from growing anywhere except in the bed and on the other side of the sidewalk. So it works really well. The important tip there is that comfrey seeds are like little black ping pong balls, and if you slant your sidewalk away like you're supposed to so you don't get water under your house, they roll right down. And then that's fun. But it was a great idea. Here's some elderberry, same thing. Some of the elders are not naughty. Black elder's great. If you're going to buy an elder, buy black elder because it thinks it's a little tree and it's not crazy and naughty. These green elders, Elder Sambucus communis, this guy's a big root runner guy. So do something about him or you'll have it everywhere. That's the vet clinic. This is a wheelchair. We ran an orphanage down in Haiti for years. We didn't run it. We ran the nonprofit that fed it. A nicer guy than me lived there and ran it. But anyway, we did a big collection of stuff to donate, and somebody brought us this old beat-up wheelchair, and anyway, we filled up the cargo containers, and there was no room for the old beat-up wheelchair, and my kids played on that thing for 20 years. Thought that was the funnest thing. All right, another important principle is to be careful what varieties you get. Okay, we talked about that a little bit in the plant walk this morning, but if you go to a nursery and look for echinacea or calendula or black-eyed Susans, they'll have all kinds of colors of that, right? But think about it. Color is chemistry. Aroma, scent is chemistry. Flavor is chemistry. And medicine is chemistry. And if you mess with these three, you're probably messing with this one. All right? So get a plant that looks like grandma looked. All right? The old timer, the real authentic plant. Don't get yellow, purple coneflowers. Get purple ones. Okay? Don't get pink black-eyed Susans. Don't get whatever the heck that is, calendula. Get the one that looks like this, all right? Another principle that's cool is you can create microenvironments on your property. It says on the interweb that this has got to be in zone 6, or zone 7, or it won't last. But there's places on your property that are a zone better than what you got everywhere else. If you put it next to the house, if you put it in a protected corner where the wind's not beating it up, if you put it under a big tree or whatever, there's all kinds of little things you can do to make that plant really happy. Think about where he came from and what he wants. The other thing that's a big deal is light. We can control that with other plants and with positioning. The soil pH, we can control that. We'll talk about that in a second. And soil drainage. Soil drainage is probably the most important one of all. How much water does that plant want around his feet, right? And so, like I said, you're not going to change the ambient temperature of what the weatherman says is happening, but there's going to be micro spots on your place that are a little better, so you can control that a little bit with protection, with buildings and things like that, or just treat it like an annual. I grow ashwagandha on my place, which is a tropical shrub from India, but it's an annual. In Idaho, it's an annual, right? And so every year I have this little race with the ashwagandha to see if I can plant it early enough that I can get some seed from it before the frost comes, so I can plant it again next year. But you can do things like that too. Rosemary, where I live, rosemary is an annual. In Arizona, it's a shrub, because it's warm enough. You can also do things with light. Some plants don't want any light hardly at all. Plants that grow from the Appalachians where it's thick canopy, no light, they don't want light. And so I created this as the hops cave. And what I did is I just got some cattle panels and I, made an arch and threw some hops at it, and it grows this shade canopy. And then inside there I was growing wild yam and black cohosh and guys that don't want to be in the sun. Okay? And I obviously opened this up. This was a little overgrown. But, you can control how much light people are getting. Soil pH is a big deal. If your pH is wrong, the plants aren't going to be happy. I can't grow blueberries in Idaho at all unless I really do some things to acidify the soil. I can't grow golden seal. I can't grow black cohosh. I can't grow anything from the Appalachians unless I make the soil acidic. But the good news is it's really easy to do that. You can put acidic stuff into it. Pine needles, leaves. That's what the Appalachians are doing every fall. They're dumping a couple of tons of oak leaves on that, and it's very acidic, right? They've been doing that for a long time. That's why the dirt's like that. And so if you don't have, compost or peat moss or mulch or things like that, you can also use sulfur. Sulfur acidifies the soil when the bacteria in your dirt turn the sulfur into sulfuric acid, which is acidic. So that lowers the pH. If your dirt is too acidic, you can make it more basic. You can put some lime in it, you can put wood ash, use hardwood, wood ash, egg shells, bone meal, oyster shells, stuff like that. That'll make the soil more basic. But you can measure, you can buy these little gadgets at garden centers and stuff. Check it and make sure you're not going overboard, because they'll be mad at you for that too. But you know, we grew in Idaho, which has really basic dirt, and really a lot of sunshine. And it's hot and it's dry and it's nothing like Pennsylvania or Virginia. You know, we made beds, we made cinder block beds that were raised. We filled them up with dirt that we had made really acidic, and we put little tents over the top of them. I mean, there was still airflow through, but there was a lid. And we had golden seal and black cohosh and all kinds of things happy as a clam, because they thought they were in Pennsylvania. All right? We didn't tell them. The other thing is soil drainage, and this is a really big deal. Some plants do not like soggy socks. All right? And they'll die. They'll get root rot and die. Especially anything that's from a deserty, sandy place. Right? So I've got in Twin Falls, Idaho, which is cold winters and snow, right? There's this garden called Orton Botanical Gardens, and it's this great old guy, Lamar Orton, and he has this 5 acres of the most astounding desert plants. You know, this is Idaho. This is Idaho. None of this stuff grows in Idaho. And I said, Lamar, how are you doing that? Doesn't it get too cold? He says, they don't care if it's cold. Arizona gets cold, New Mexico gets cold, they're all growing down there. He says, it's the dirt. I figured it out. They don't want any water on their roots at all. So we went down to a local gravel quarry where they were grinding up rocks to make gravel, and underneath the grinders, there's these big mountains of sand, and he hauled that by the truckload and made berms on his 5 acres and threw the plants in there, and they're all happy as clams, right? Because think about it. How long do you think water sits in desert sand? You know, 5 minutes? You know, suck it up and forget it, because it's not going to be there in 10 minutes. You know, that's how these guys work. And so, you know, I'm growing stuff like that, some of these. Anyway, and basically all these are medicinal too. But, you know, I'm growing Brigham tea on my place, which won't grow in Idaho at all, unless you plant it in sand. So I dig a hole, and I fill it up with sand, and I throw a little bit of potting soil-y stuff in there, so there's a little bit of organic stuff, but hardly any. And it's happy as a clam. There's a big botanical garden down in Salt Lake called Red Butte Gardens, and they have Brigham tea planted, and it's that big, and I go there and do plant walks all the time. It's been that big for 8 years. Mine's this big in 1 year. Theirs is this big because it gets a drink twice a day, and it's in really nice, rich potting soil from Miracle Grow. You know, which is great if you're black cohosh, but lousy if you're Brigham tea. All right? So think about what the guys want.
We came up here while I was still contacting with him, and I was telling him about what I was doing and building this cabin, and we were going to live without electricity and all this kind of stuff. And he was like, first he was like, no way. And he was like, man, it just sounds so interesting. And as we're getting into it, you know, I'm building the cabin, he's listening to the stories. He's like, man, this is just so interesting. People would like to know about this. And he said, you should put this on YouTube. And that it was just starting out. I had no even idea about it. And he goes, oh yeah, YouTube, you know, it's like a how-to thing. And I was like, really? And I said, okay, I'll check it out. So I had a cell phone, and I would do a video for you guys, right? This is way back in growing the Faith Farm days. I would do the video, no edit, put it on the dashboard, plug it into the cigarette lighter, go to bed. I'd wake up in the morning and it would still be like 60% upload. This is how far we've come in like, 10, 15 years, okay? So I was telling him, we were talking and everything, and he said, man, you really need a laptop. I said, I don't have a laptop, and to me, there was no advantageous for me spending my money on a laptop. So he actually bought us a laptop and bought us the security for it so no one could hack into it and all that stuff, and he encouraged us and gave us that so we could put the videos up for you guys, and now here we are. That's how this whole thing started. No business model. Be careful out there, okay? They have business models, and they just Google and YouTube, and then they feed you guys. Be careful out there. And my mentor is over there, Noah A. Schwartz. He's selling eggs underneath the shade tree. If y'all want to check my story, I was hip to hip with him for 6 years. We were doing fencing. I was living Amish like a mug. That's why they're all here. They don't But they all know me. I've watched their kids grow up. I've watched them have kids. They're all getting married now. But if you guys want to even verify the story, check it out. It's right over there. I'd love to talk to you.
Yeah, I'm going to turn it off. Yeah. It's at 150. When you are doing this, your water needs to be about 150 degrees.
Any hotter than that, you'll peel the skin right off.
Yeah, you'll see the skin gets kind of weird. All right.
Thanks for recording this, Doug.
Got it.
It's been very rainy. The chickens are
Oh,
all
we don't need
muddy.
to know about their demeanor. Come on.
Yes. So basically, for some of you guys, I don't know if you guys want to move. You guys can come over here closer. You can come behind me. People can come behind me. Come behind. You're going to put the chicken in the water, and I'm going to move it up and down, and that's going to loosen up the feathers. So I just put it in there, and I kind of shake it a little bit. I don't want to hold it in there too long. I just kind of shake it. Thank you. Here's my little teacher here. Say hi to Noah.
Hey. The first time, okay, me and Stacy just got here, right? I told you guys. And we're like, okay, how do you even butcher a chicken? Because we were just like you guys, never butchered a chicken.
Just listen and watch. See
We go
what
to
I'm
Noah.
doing.
Yeah, she's plucky. We go to Noah's house and we're like, yeah, we want to butcher.
Who wants to help?
Come. So we asked him about butchering, so he says, okay, I'll help you out. So he flips the trash
kinda
can
hot.
over a barrel, 50-gallon barrel, all rusty and everything. He flips it over, we go get the chicken, throw it on there, and butcher it up right on there. We were like, are you on this barrel? That's where we butchered our first chicken. And after that, we were doing the Amish hoedown, like 100 at a time. Crazy.
Oh, you can do the next one. You want to show the next one? Will you do it? I'll do the next one. Well, he'll do the next one. Yeah.
Stacy, you've been doing giveaways. You give away the chicken heads? Yeah. Everybody want a lucky chicken head?
Oh, he did break his arm. Yeah.
Broke the arm.
Oh, it did break. That was the one that came out of the box. Yeah. Oh, I don't have loppers. For feet. Yeah, don't worry about that. I'll cut that out. But I'll get the rest of it. You guys are good. Okay.
So you really don't need one of those like $3,000 fuckers. Seriously. I mean, nope, not at all. A lot of people see what's going on and they create business.
Do you think it'll cut its legs off?
You know, to get you in there to buy their stuff. Your hands will work fine.
I'll try. Just put it
They're
down.
so
There.
fast.
Ready? Okay. Sam's going to show the way his dad showed him how to do it. Pull the tail out. Then the wings. I know, it's hot. $150. Yep, we have to talk about the oil can.
On the university.
So he's doing the legs. And we're waiting for the fancy trick. So you use the palm of the hand and just kind of rub. Ooh, I think I had it too, yeah. It was too hot.
Oh, look at that palm just sweeps.
See how his palm does it? Much quicker.
Generational learning.
Thank you.
Something we're kind of missing out on, right?
Thanks. All right, see that, how I got it off? Here's the skin. Okay, usually Like I'll usually, rinse everything off. When I butcher, I have a stainless steel pan where I put my liver and my, all the organs and all that. So if I get enough livers, you can fry them up if you want to, or if you don't like liver, give them to your friends or someone you know, or you give them to your dog. And then here's the heart. So these are all very viable, healthy things to use, okay? And then what I'll do is I'll keep them separate, from the chicken. But I usually have a bowl with the water sitting with it right here, okay? Now, we need to get rid of their big old feet. Normally, and of course I left that at home, there's, those loppers that you chop down tree branches with. That's what I usually use. And then when I do it, they have a knuckle here. So usually you get it and you hold it and you're gonna like cut right in the knuckle, and I don't know if this is gonna work. Oh yeah, these work good. Yeah, ooh, look at that. Now, you can kind of boil these up, peel the skin the same way I did the gizzards, and then you can dehydrate these. These are great dog treats. They're full of collagen, they're really, really good.
So guys, we met some great friends already here today, and we wanted to introduce you. Yeah, well, we met them yesterday, and now it's today, and we've just ran into them a couple times today. So introduce us to your YouTube channel. What do you got?
We're the Pop-Up Homestead Living Off-Grid. We did what Doug and Stacy taught us 5, 6, 7 years ago now, and we've been off-grid for 3 years.
That's incredible.
Yep. We're also on Rumble. You can find us on Rumble as well.
Yep.
And we have solar, rainwater, poop in buckets, raise meat chickens, meat rabbits, egg layers, process our own animals, make our own medicines.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and y'all are up in northern Tennessee, so you're pretty close to us.
West Tennessee.
West Tennessee, yeah. Okay, yeah, so we're probably not too awful far from each other. We'll probably end up getting together one of these days.
Other again.
Yeah,
I think there's a good chance.
I think so.
We made good friends here. This is a nice place to come meet people that think a lot alike, how you think, and so.
Absolutely.
Anyhow,
100%.
thank you so
Like
much
minds.
thanks for your time. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was our pleasure. It was our pleasure.
It's a pleasure to meet you both.
Beginning of some good friendships.
100%.
Absolutely.
100%.
Absolutely.
So go check out their channel.
Please do.
Save those because you got a little bit of the flesh on them too, right? So those are the ones that I usually do. We don't eat very many bananas, but if I do get bananas, I will use them. So bananas, I use a lot of the citrus, and you can do different things with them. So like your citrus, like your orange or your lemon's good for cleaning. So that might be one of my cleaning vinegars that I use on the floors when I mix it with other stuff and soap. There's certain ones that I might like for my hair. So let's say I'm gonna make a vinegar out of some rosemary. Go ahead and put some rosemary in there. The one ingredient that you mostly have to add, I put in a little bag, is sugar.
Hey, look who we ran into. We ran into Stacy.
Yay! Finally.
We're having a good time.
Yes, after all these years, I finally get to meet her.
So Stacy, tell us just real quick, tell our viewers what we got going on here today.
Well, this is the Homesteading Life Conference, and it's our first one here in Vandalia, Missouri. There's 2,000 people here, plus kids. And we're having a great time. It's a beautiful day, and we're learning lots of stuff. I have 50 classes between today and tomorrow, and people are learning lots.
Yeah.
And lots of people are buying stuff too.
Right? It's been awesome.
And it's wonderful.
Yeah,
It's wonderful.
Again, we do not control the weather, only the federal government does. And we do really appreciate everybody, just kind of rolling with it. You know what I mean? Because this is what's going to get you through, right? Right. Like, seriously, if anyone's walking around itching, then that means they're not going to be ready. I'm serious. If not you guys, but some people here that can't handle this little bit of adversity going on, I'm serious. Like, I'm just going to say it. So it was funny because I was out there doing my thing, tending to y'all real good, making sure you're getting into place, and I had to run the cast iron over there, and Stacy runs out to the thing. Doug! You gotta talk at. I said, I know, 7 minutes. And I'm here, and she's not. Now, if you guys know anything about Doug and Stacy, Stacy is always lady. And she loves the headset. So this will be all you hear from me the rest of the talk. Because once she gets the headset on, she goes into mode.
Uh-oh, I need a new banner.
Who watched the latest video that we did live last Sunday night? And I showed you guys the chlorine strips.
Yep.
Oh, that was eye-opening. We had a fellow on there, he poured the water in the cup, tested the water from the tap, and it was perfect swimming pool water, right? Grade A, number 1, let's go. Stuck his fingers in the cup for 15 seconds, took them out, put the strip back in the cup, and it comes out no chlorine. Wow. All the chlorine has sucked right into his skin.
Right.
The largest organ on your body? Skin. They teach you to take a bath
Every day.
for 20 to 30 to 40 minutes.
Yep.
Put your kids in there and play?
Yep.
Oh my Lord, we have been so sold out.
Yep.
So, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, he was talking. I just want to talk a little bit about the microbiome. So we have one like in your gut, your skin. You even have one in your mouth. So here's one I just saw a study on, which I thought was kind of fascinating, saying that if you use mouthwash, it'll destroy the microbiome and it can lead to heart disease and a lot of other health problems. So, you know, you have a natural environment in your mouth. So, you know, I always talk about, I like to oil pull with the coconut oil. You could use sesame oil and castor oil, and you just swish it around in your mouth. It'll draw the toxins out. And that way, that's a much safer way of dealing with your microbiome than totally over sanitizing that too. Because when we were talking about showering, like when we first moved, you know, he was used to taking a shower all the time. You know, you're used to washing your hair all the time, and your hair gets all, you know, dry and yucky, your skin is dry, and then all of a sudden, when we weren't taking showers as often, our skin was getting healthier, we were feeling better, and it was just amazing. And then when we'll talk about food in just a little bit, but I'll let you finish. I wanted to talk about the mouth real quick, but go ahead.
Yeah, the mouthwash. Boy, they got you guys on the mouthwash, right? Remember those commercials? Fresh breath. But I'm dying. Seriously, right? Your microbiome's gone, your stomach. Hey guys, all of your health starts in your gut. Now listen, I can buy raw meat, right? I can go to the store right now, buy raw meat, raw chicken, raw vegetables, but not raw milk.
In a lot of places. There's places you can, of course. We
Why?
can here.
Why? Because the raw milk helps with your boom. So they've stripped it away from you. They've substituted it with death water that looks white. They call milk. And I was a victim of that, man. I had a lot of milk in my life. I had psoriasis, a lot of mucus in my body. Eczema, not psoriasis. A lot of mucus build up in my body. And then as soon as we cut out the milk from the store, honest as the day is long, everything went away. Right? That's why they don't want you having the milk.
But the thing is when you pasteurize the milk, it's going to destroy all the beneficial enzymes from it. Organic milk, full fat. If you're going to drink milk and you have to drink milk, make sure it's organic, full fat. Because your body wants the fat. Just remember, your brain is cholesterol and like water. So if you're not getting enough water throughout the day and you're not getting enough fat throughout the day, you're
don't
going to
eat
have a
fat.
problem.
It's bad for you. Don't you guys see? Everything they've ever told you is to get you sick. Oh my God. It's so disgusting.
Yep.
Where'd he go?
I mean, seriously, right? Everything that food pyramid.
Yep.
Yeah.
Jokes in.
And now they come out and say, well, you know, whatever. We messed up.
Well, now they say from
Pfizer said, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I'm sorry, guys. Pfizer, but people just pull these off the shelf right now. Sorry.
Yeah, like frosted mini wheats and all those things are on the food pyramid, the new one now, or what they had. Oh, you should see they put oatmeal. They're like sugary oatmeal. There's a lot of stuff that they're putting on that shouldn't be on. But everything is funded by the lobbyists and all the different companies. So a lot of things are, it's crazy.
If you guys leave with anything, just realize today, let this sink in, but scientists agree with 80% of the people who pay them. Okay?
Hey guys, look who we ran into again here today. I can't even talk.
It's been a long day.
Imagine what it's like for Doc Jones.
Oh, I know. Yeah, he has been talking nonstop. Look who we found again, Doc Jones. Hey, what have you been doing over here?
We're just helping folks learn how to use medicinal plants to fix stuff.
Yep.
How to be nice to your weeds instead of cussing and pulling them.
Right.
Right.
I got that book today too.
There you go.
So you have a good time with all your talks and your walks and all the stuff you did?
We did. This was a great group, and we really love the homesteaders. They got a lot of things figured out. So.
Yep.
That's true.
Even if you get stuck in the mud, right?
Yeah, right.
He kept getting shorter and shorter as the talk went on. He kept like sinking down.
I will.
Yeah.
Yep.
We'll show you a few little clips of that. The one talk there was kind of hilarious, some of it.
All right.
Well, Doc, we just want to say thank you so much for all that you're doing, of course, and for the school, because Deb's a student of your school, and many of you can be too. So it's just a great thing, and we appreciate what you're doing, and thank you for taking the time with us here.
You bet.
So
God
bless you,
Great
brother.
to see you. Business with animals depends on the guy, I guess. The biggest risk with animals, is dosing. You know, because if you goof up a little bit with a horse, you got a very wide margin of how much herbs you can give a horse. But if it's a chicken or a chihuahua, you know, you got to be a little more careful with how much you're giving them. That's it. All right. So everything we say in this lecture, it'll work on your goat just as well as it'll work on your grandkid. All right. And we do have another lecture on how to tell your goat from your grandkid. It's the beard. All right. All right. One other thing about goats, and you know, I don't worry about administering herbs to, you know, let me just give you tips on giving herbs to animals, all right? If it's a dog, throw the powdered herbs in some wet food, he'll eat it, all right? If it's a chicken, throw the powdered, give them the fresh herbs, they love that. Or if you got powdered stuff, spray their feed with a little spray bottle, and throw the powder on it and stick to the feed and they'll eat it, right? Horses too, same thing. If it's a cat, body armor, face shield, you know, get your personal affairs in order. Make that call to your brother you should have made 5 years ago and work it out. And then after that, it's fine. You can do that once to your cat. After that, it's dangerous, okay? No. Cats are very scent driven. If it doesn't smell like food, it's not food. It's not an attitude thing, it's a brain thing. All right. They did a study on cats. You know how they get the Roto-Rooter thing and ream out your sinuses if you have chronic sinus infections, the surgeons? They tried that on cats, because cats get chronic sinus infections. And they thought, well, we should try that and see if we can help them. And every cat in that study died of starvation because they couldn't smell food. And if they don't smell it, it ain't food. Okay? So if it doesn't smell like food, it's not food to them. Get some really stinky, fishy cat food, and some herbs you can get them to eat. Other than that, it's a real battle. All right. Purslane, same thing. This is a weed. You got purslane out here?
Lots of it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I thought you probably did because you got those sidewalk cracks, right? Yeah. Yeah, it's a little fussy to grow. It has to have dirt, is the thing. And so the sidewalk cracks up with the concrete, you know, it won't grow there. I was in a parking lot. It's like Fred Meyer or something. It's like asphalt as far as you can see, and it's got to be 100 degrees. You know, that asphalt's probably 120 degrees, and there's this big old purslane growing out of it. Like, I don't believe nobody lives here. Okay. Prickly pear, also very good for burns. These guys are all doing the same thing. It's jelly, right? It's that gel. Prickly pear, you can just slice that cactus, you know, fillet it, and slap it on the burn, right? It's really important to put the right side down. But you'll know right away if you do it wrong, okay? Most people only do that once.
All right, guys, this is the fun aisleway where you can get all the stuff. Over here was some medicinal herbs. food station was over there. They had some Amish here that were selling some of their wares, as well as some really good sandwiches for lunch. We had sirloin? It was really good. And so there's some more Amish selling some of their wares. Their baskets were beautiful. That was over there. And then guys, check out this huge sun oven.
Oh, wow.
Is that not an amazing sun oven? They were cooking baked potatoes in it over the weekend, and that was really cool. But that's where you could get your sun oven. And then over here is Doc Jones. You'll see him talking to a bunch of people. We'll talk to him in a minute. That they've got. Over here, you've got the Missouri Tea Company, which is Doug and Stacy's company. Pretty cool. I just got, ta-da! I'm excited about that. And then over here, you've got Tia. She does like stones and different things like that. And then you've got Barefoot Microgreens. And all of the microgreens, you've seen a lot of things going on there. They had a coffee place over here. That was yummy.
Mocha Moon.
Mocha Moon. And then they had some crochet stuff, some other artware. They had Clyde's garden, which I've talked about our Clyde's garden planner before.
There's Clyde.
And there's
right
Clyde.
there.
So
That's
if
pretty
you don't
cool.
have a Clyde's garden planner, you need to check them out because they're awesome. And then over here is A Simple Life with Chris and Tara. They've got a YouTube channel, so you can check them out. It's about cast iron and stuff. We kind of related to them a little bit because of our cast iron channel. And then over here we have Elderberry. They do the syrups and concoctions and stuff like that. They had Suburban Worms here, so you can get like castings and teas and a bag of worms even over there. We had some treats, spoons and treats. Their little trailer set up really, really cute. And then you also had security. Check out their trailer. It's really cute. With the roofs on shelves and stuff like that. It's cute, very cute. We had a lot of mud. You can see the mud there. And then Hillside Adventures. They do freeze-dried foods and different things like that. And then we've been passing by a lot of people that are finally picking up their horizontal hives from Dr. Leo over here. Looks like he's kind of wrapping up. But Dr. Leo has these really cool hives. I love watching him when he's on Doug and Stacy's.
Right. Hey, we're shooting a video. You mind telling us a little bit about what you got going on here?
Yeah, I'm Dr. Leo with horizontalhive.com, and I do natural beekeeping. And the way we do things differently from the mainstream is that the most important thing is to get first the bees that are locally adapted and acclimated. When you purchase bees from the south, if you live in the north, they are not winter hardy, they are not disease resistant, it's a very bad choice, and then problems start. You need to feed them sugar water, you need to medicate them, they're just not tough bees. But the good news is that in most locations across the country, you can catch local free swarms that would be a good fit for your climate, obviously, because they come from the local environment, and also very disease-free. So when we started catching bees in small beehives like this one, it's called a swamp trap. We went from 0 hives to 40 hives in a few years without buying any bees. And now we have 50 hives between me and my 12-year-old daughter, who is the other beekeeper in the family. And we never had to buy any bees. You catch enough swarms, you can then propagate your own bees, and you keep bees with a smile. Another thing we do is, once you caught a swarm in a little hive like that, you transfer the frames into a bigger box so they have more room to expand. And most American beekeepers use vertical hives, where when the bees fill one box, you put another box and then another, and the system works beautifully. But eventually you have to handle 40 or 50 pound boxes full of honey. It's very bad for your back, it's very stressful for the bees too, because you destroy the integrity of their nest when you're shuffling boxes around. In a horizontal hive, and my website is horizontalhive.com, all of the frames are on the same level. We're sold out of the hives here, but it's a box like that, only it will be 2-3 times longer. So because all of the frames are on the same level, there are no additional boxes to put on top, and there is no heavy lifting involved, and you have access to all frames at once, which makes it convenient and accessible to anyone. My daughter started beekeeping with me when she was 8, and now she's 12. She has 12 colonies of her own completely. Like, she paid for the equipment, she got the bees, and she manages them themselves. If beekeeping involved their lifting boxes 50 pounds all the time, she wouldn't be able yet to do it, but now she can.
That's really cool.
Awesome.
Very cool.
Awesome.
Well, thank you for your time. I appreciate that.
You're very welcome.
Hey, we found Doug over here. He's been obnoxious all weekend, being noisy, and anytime you heard some noise, you knew it was Doug. But he's
love Doug.
Oh
That's
yeah,
I'm
loud.
and that's the way we like it, right?
Yep.
So anyhow,
Loud and proud.
So Doug, what do you think of this weekend?
I thought it was fantastic. The weather turned out good for us. The venue is very nice. I like the all grass situation better than Hannibal. We're going to do this one every year in between Mother's Day and Labor Day, so hopefully we'll see you guys out here next year.
Sounds awesome.
We sure appreciate all that you're doing on the YouTube
Right
and
on.
keeping us all updated on all the things that we can't, because we work all day long every day, and
Yes.
so we appreciate the time that you spend researching, and we appreciate you putting on this event. This is our first one, and we just love it, and
Right on.
we really
and we
appreciate
love your
it.
Sunday nights.
Yeah, right on. We'll see you guys maybe Sunday night. I'm pretty whipped.
Right.
Right.
And then also we appreciate the handlebar mustaches.
That's right.
So if you're not subscribed, one maybe of you that might not be subscribed, make sure you subscribe to their channel. And thank you so much.
And in case you don't know, we're a God and Country channel. We're trying to bring truth to you guys so you guys understand that, you know, we're being bounced on and we got to put it into the bouncing. Okay?
That's right.
So just stay vigilant out there. The most capable hand is at the end of your wrist.
There you
That's
go.
right. That's right.
So thanks a lot, Doug.
You got it.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate you guys coming out. You're watching Generations Homestead, so make sure you hit that subscribe button so you get all the latest videos.